All right, welcome again, everyone. It's so glad to have everyone here today. My name is Abiola Idu, and it's a privilege to have myself in this session right now. So, briefly, I just want to say again, thank you very much. We could have been elsewhere this time, but I know that we have all come here to seek knowledge, and I promise you that it's going to be a time well spent. So briefly, I'll be going through today's session, and shortly we'll be having um, a great man coming to open up today's session. But before then, I think it would be nice that we have an oversight of what we'll be doing today. We've already had a prayer, so we'll be having a welcome speech. We'll be having the overview of what DevOps is. So we're having a demo session as well. And that way we're having Terraform and CI/CD pipeline. That is continuous integration, continuous deployment pipeline. We'll be having a DevOps masterclass. We'll be having a curriculum and course structure. We're having a registration as well. We're having a short award ceremony. We're having a testimonial, and there'll be rooms for question and answer. So before then, I'll be welcoming this great man to come open up the session. And by now, we all know who he is. His name is Dr. Itoro Okwe, commonly known as IT. He boasts of an impressive educational background and a thriving career in the technology industry. He's a founder of Rondustech Technology, a subsidiary of Rondus LLC. Dr. IT's journey began with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Computer Science from the University of Uyo, Nigeria. He expanded his knowledge base by earning another bachelor's degree in industrial engineering at the University of Texas, Arlington. And to even further sharpen his skills, he pursued an MBA in engineering and technology management from Dallas Baptist University. For someone who still seeks knowledge, he did not stop there. He still pursued his passion for leadership by obtaining a PhD in business management with a concentration in leadership from Capella University. And with over 2 decades dedicated to the technology sector, he has amassed valuable experience and expertise. His dedication, his passion to his career is complemented by his personal life. He shares his life with his beloved wife, Grace, and the 5 children consisting of 4 daughters and a son. And beyond his personal endeavors, Dr. Aitis, he finds joy in passion. I mean, he finds joy in sports and family time. He plays tennis, he plays racquetball, he plays soccer, and among his favorite activities. And he also eagerly anticipates events like the US Open, Wimbledon, and even the World Cup soccer. So he's a soccer man, he's a tennis man, he's a ping pong man as well. He stays abreast of the latest technology and he enjoys tackling DevOps challenges. And this is a moment that he cherishes a lot, as he also spends time with his family. So at this juncture, I'll be welcoming Dr. IT to give us an opening speech. Thank you, Dr. IT. Over to you.
Thank you, and welcome everyone. Really humbled. I see a lot of my friends attend this. I really appreciate it and welcome. I have a lot of information for you. Please, let's pay attention and see if we can gain something. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rondustech Technologies. Over time, I've come to appreciate the value of 2 things that I once usually take for granted. And those 2 things are time and information. Today, my aim is to make the most of your time while sharing valuable insights. Let me begin with a story featuring 2 characters, and the 2 characters are Emeka and Idara. Emeka was a young man full of life, living in a small village nestled in the heart of Africa. One scorching afternoon, while exploring the nearby forest, he encountered a strange plant he had never seen before. Ignorant of its dangers, he plucked a leaf and brought it home out of curiosity. That night, Emeka began to feel unwell, his body racked with fever and chills. Confused and frightened, he turned to his family for help, but they too were unaware of the plant's toxicity. With each passing hour, Emeka's condition worsened, and by the time a neighbor recognized the plants and rushed to fetch a healer, it was too late. Emeka succumbed to the poison, a tragic victim of his own ignorance and lack of crucial information in his community. The next story is about Idara. Idara, a determined young woman from a modest background, received a cryptic message from her late grandmother on her deathbed. "Follow river song," she whispered. Her voice barely audible says, "Follow the river song. Follow the river song." Intrigued by her grandmother's words, Idara set out on a journey, tracing the river that flowed through their village. Along the way, she encountered challenges and obstacles, but she persevered, driven by the mysterious message. As she followed the river path, Idara stumbled upon a hidden waterfall, its cascading water shimmering in the sunlight. Remembering her grandmother's words, she paused to listen intently to the sound of the rushing water. In that moment, inspiration struck. Ida returned to her village and used her newfound insight to harness the power of river, constructing a water wheel to generate electricity for the community. Her innovative solution brought prosperity to the village, providing electricity for homes, schools, and businesses. Word of Idara's success spread wide, attracting investors and opportunities. I'm trying to mute someone here. Words of Idara's success spread far and wide, attracting investors and opportunities. Before long, she became a renowned entrepreneur, leading sustainable development projects across the region and empowering others with the knowledge she had gained. Thanks to her grandmother's enigmatic message, Idara transformed her life and the lives of those around her, proving that sometimes the most valuable information can come from unexpected sources. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and passionate learners, welcome to the launch of 2024 Rondustech DevOps Masterclass. Today, we gather not only to celebrate the beginning of an incredible journey, but also to reflect on the transformative power of information. In a world where access to knowledge can mean the difference between life and death, success and failure, the stories of Emeka and Idara serve as reminders of the profound impact that information can have on our lives. Emeka's tragic tale highlights the dire consequences of ignorance. Without the essential knowledge of the dangers lurking in his environment, he fell victim to a deadly plant, underscoring the critical need for education and awareness. Conversely, Idara's inspiring journey exemplifies the extraordinary opportunities that arise when we embrace information and harness its power. Through her grandmother's cryptic message, she unlocked the world of possibilities, ultimately transforming her community and beyond. Today, as we embark on this new chapter with the launch of 2024 Rondustech DevOps Masterclass, we are reminded of the immense potential that lies within each of us. This masterclass isn't just about acquiring skills, it's about empowerment. It's about equipping ourselves with the knowledge and tools to navigate the complexities of our digital age with confidence and proficiency. Just as Emeka and Idara's lives were forever altered by the information they received, so too can ours be transformed through this masterclass. Together, let us embrace the power of information, seize the opportunities before us, and embark on a journey of growth, innovation, and success. Thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. Let the journey begin. So with that, I'm going to transition to something else. I'm going to give you the overview of the DevOps program. It's a high-level overview, 10,000 view, right? 10,000 view of what DevOps is. I know a lot of people are asking question, what is DevOps? I'm going to give you just a high-level information about it. So let's begin with that. DevOps is nothing but a software development approach. It emphasizes on collaboration, community integration between software developers and IT operations teams. Everyone probably has a phone by now. I will be shocked if any of us don't have a phone. If you look at your cell phone, it's full of applications. Have you ever wondered how does this application gets created? In 10 to 20 years, application would take over the world. There's nothing you can do right now without applications. In advanced countries, we know that we order our food through applications. Now you sit in the comfort of your home, and with applications, you can do a whole lot of things. So it's going to take over the world, and AI is almost here, right? So the goal of today is to open us to this information of the world of apps on how this is produced, at least have the knowledge. If you really want to know how and you want to get into it, then learn the skills. So the overview of software development has to do with DevOps. That's all it's about. So the goal of DevOps is to streamline the software development cycle, break down traditional silos of how development used to be, and create a culture of shared responsibility. The practices of DevOps involve automation, continuous integration, and continuous deployment, improve speed, quality, and reliability of software delivery. When you get into the demo, you will see a little bit of this. And it also emphasizes metrics and monitoring, enabling teams to measure performance, how the applications are performing, and identify areas of improvement. Previously, the traditional way of development is software used to be developed just like an architect is trying to build a house. It has a waterfall methodology whereby you gather the requirements, you do the analysis, you do the design, implementation, testing, and maintenance, which is a system approach. We still use industrial engineering right now. As of today, it's the way you manufacture a widget, a goal in the manufacturing industries. The same methodology is what software used to use previously, but that has changed. A new methodology called Agile methodology came into play, whereby you create a plan, you design a plan, develop it, test it, deploy, review, right? So it's no more traditional methodology, waterfall methodology. It becomes cyclical. So this can be done cyclically. You can go through it, then you find something wrong, then you can go back and do it, right? There's an advantage of doing Agile. There are also some advantages in waterfall, but the advantages or the benefit of Agile outweighs the advantages of waterfall. But that was a new methodology in software development lifecycle. Then DevOps methodology comes up, which is not superior, but it complements the Agile process. Agile process is still being used. It has not replaced the Agile methodology. It complements it, which is we still start with a plan, then you develop the code, then you do the build, do the testing, do the packaging, release, operate, right? And it goes in cyclical form. Now, Agile methodology comes in and you use the approach of sprints and retrospective in the DevOps methodology as well. So you have continuous development and continuous delivery when it comes to DevOps, and you complement that with the Agile methodology. Okay, then these are the tools that you need in DevOps, right? There's a lot of tools. So the question is, what are all these tools? How do I learn these tools? Do I need all these tools to be able to build an application, right? So that's where I come in, right? I'm coming to give you information about these tools. These are all these tools like Chef and Puppet, Ansible, SourceTag, New Relics, Splunk, Jenkins, Maven, Cradle, and all that, right? There's a lot of tools. You don't need to use all these tools at once, but there are very important ones that you cannot do without. But these are the tools, examples of the tools that you need in building an application. We also have Kubernetes. We have for your orchestration that's not listed here. So there are other tools as well, but they're not listed here. If you want to have an idea of how companies ship their code, their final product, this is how the whole train is, right? It starts with a product owner. The product owner probably it's what you call a product manager that gathers the stories about those are the requirements it collects from the customer. So it carries in this requirement, you call it stories. In this case, in Agile methodology, we call it stories. You build the stories, then the stories are being put together after validation, and it goes to the developers. The developers are the ones that write the codes, right? Developers are also the programmers. So the programmers do the programming, develop the code. Then the code is sent to a central repository, distributed central repository, which is a GitHub repository. This repository is then pulled by Jenkins, right? In Jenkins, you do unit testing, you do code review, and you actually do the test to see if the codes are okay. Once that is done, this can be stored in a JFrog Artifactory or Nexus Artifactory. Artifactory is a storage place where codes are being stored temporarily. And this could also be stored in the cloud in a Docker Hub, right? From this Docker Hub, then you can pull this code for deployment, but it has to go through QA to do testing or do a UAT test. From that, then you can, either from Docker, you can deploy this application, or you can also send it to Kubernetes, which is an orchestration tool that will orchestrate how these applications are being run. And you can use monitoring to monitor the application and see if there's any error. In all this, you can also introduce security into it so that you don't have what they call man-in-the-middle attack, or people trying to attack or bring down your applications, right? So you have a SRE, a security reliability engineer right here, monitoring what is going on, right, in the entire application, and make sure that the application is running well as planned, and so on and so forth. So this is how the whole, how company actually ships the code, and it becomes an application, and it comes into your phone, and you use your phone. That's the whole gambit of it. I told you I was going to give you an overview, so that's just an overview of it. But let's get into a little bit into the culture and principles of DevOps, right? The key things, I already mentioned that it emphasizes collaboration, communication, and shared responsibilities. DevOps are two names joined together. This is the developers and the operations people. How do we develop an application, and how do we operate it, orchestrate it, so that effectively it meets the desire or the intent of the customer? So the things, there are a lot of principles here, but the ones I want to highlight is automation, right? Through automations, you can automatically create these two codes. Usually it used to be manually, but with the tools that I showed you previously, you can automate this code. There's also something they call infrastructure as a code. Infrastructure as a code is, instead of going and manually build these infrastructures, right, manually, right, you write a code, and the code provision all the resources that you're looking for. Now, I'll show that also in a demo in a few minutes. Then you have the concept of continuous delivery and deployment. This means that codes are coming in. As codes are coming in, the applications are being built, and automatically they are being deployed, right? There's no intervention. There's no human intervention. It goes through the pipeline, and through the pipeline, you do testing on the pipeline, and it's being deployed. You also see that in the demo. Apart from that, you also have these other principles of continuous improvement, collaboration, agility, and shared responsibilities. So what is the benefit? What are the benefits of DevOps? I'll highlight just two: higher quality software and increase in efficiency. So by the time this application is being done, it has a higher quality, and the efficiency of the development process to the customer is really efficient, and you have a higher quality free of errors that will actually get to the customer. Of course, that amounts to improved customer satisfaction. Example of Netflix. Everybody probably knows what the company Netflix is used for. We use Netflix to watch our movies and all that. So a particular example of how they are using DevOps, right? I've talked about continuous integration and continuous deployment. They are using that. So when you're watching your movies and see your movies come through, right? The movies, sometimes they publish the movies on a daily basis, right? As they going through the code, right, to produce these movies and bring it to you, it goes through what they call the complete pipelines. And they use microservices architecture, right? Previously, when we used to write, I remember my computer friends are here when we in University of York, that time that we used to write codes, you write a monolithic application codes. You write one code that does everything, right? But these days, we're not using those monolithic applications ways of writing codes. We're using what I call microservices architecture right now, whereby you split all your applications or the services that you want to run, you split them into what you call microservices. So now it becomes small services. And there's challenges to that. When you separate them or segregate your applications to microservices, how do you secure these microservices? How do you create communications, not west communications, southwest communications to go between these services? Because each of the services need to talk to each other to become one. And mind you, these services are coded with different languages, right? All kinds of languages. You can use different kind of languages to write any of these services or these applications, but they need to communicate with each other. How is that being done? So there's a level of complexity. There's a layer of complexities, layers upon layers of complexities that are in microservices that you have to manage. Then, of course, automation and monitoring, collaboration and communication. So this is what Netflix, an example of the methodology that Netflix is using. So when you're watching your movies on Netflix and all that, that's the methodology that they use to bring those high quality movies to you. This is a little bit of that, what their microservices architecture looks like, right? This is just a small, I just picked this so you can have a look, have at least a bird's eye view of what it looks like through this. These are different services that you have to provision these servers and then configure these servers to actually run those applications. Okay, now the questions is, what are the kind of jobs I want to study DevOps and I want to be part of this? I like this information. What are the jobs that are out there in the industry that I can become? So DevOps is a coded word. If you break it down, it comes in with different things, right? You can become a DevOps engineer, which is a primary thing. You can become a site reliability engineer. You can become a cloud engineer, an automation engineer, a release manager, containerization specialist. You can become a continuous and integration specialist. You can become a deployment specialist as well, right? And apart from that, the knowledge also would give you ability to do some non-tech jobs in non-tech industries. You can become an IT operations manager. You can become a quality assurance engineer. You can become a project manager. You can become a product manager. You could become a release coordinator, a business analyst, security engineer, data analyst, financial analyst, manufacturing engineer. All this is incorporated into you becoming a DevOps engineer. It gives you that knowledge. It gives you that knowledge and the skills to be able to attend this. So what does the salary look like for a DevOps engineer? I pulled this recently. So this is an average. For example, you can look at California, how much the salary goes for, the beginning salary. And by the way, if you go to college to study engineering, this will not be your starting salary, right? So this is just an average salary. There are people that are earning up to $200,000, $300,000, depending on your level of experience in DevOps engineering, right? And every other thing that I showed you that you can become. So this comes with different pay levels, right? So it depends on what you get into, and your pay is determined with that. But generally, this is the combination of how the salary looks by the time you complete the course, right? So this is the average. It might not be this exactly. It could be lower than this. It could be higher than this. But 2 years ago, I mean, I think they've lowered the salary a little bit. It used to be like 150 was the beginning salary because there was a huge rush. But every industry has cut down on the pay right now. Okay, so that would transition me into demonstrating, giving you short demos, right? The first demo that I want to demonstrate is infrastructure as a code, right? So if you've not really have an awareness, now you can provision resources in the cloud, right? Like if you're like your computer instances, instead of using your computer to do things, you can now go on the cloud, right? Do your things in the cloud. And you have various companies that host these native cloud services. One is Amazon, then you have Google, you have Microsoft Azure. Those are the major ones, right? You have IBM and so on and so forth. Alibaba also has a cloud infrastructure. Now, the point is if you want to deploy or you want to provision a resource in AWS, you can manually do that. For example, let me see if I can show you an example of AWS. Okay, so this is my AWS instance, right? This is the UI for AWS, right? And in this, I can launch an instance right now by just creating an instance. These are instances I've created already in my local laboratory. So I can manually go in here and create an instance. So let me call this my instance. My instance. Can I spell instance? Right. And I can make that one word as well. Right. Then I want to configure. Here you have different kind of distros. You have Amazon Linux, Mac OS, or Ubuntu, right? So I want to configure an Ubuntu operating system, right? And this is the version that I need. And I can select the instance type that I need. I can do a T2 macro depending on the power of the machine that I want to use. You can go as much as, let me see, you can do T2 large, T3 micro, depending on the power, if you want to do simulation, if you want to do a whole lot of things that requires power, you can provision your infrastructure as much. And you have to select a keyword. I have a lot of keywords here, so let me select the famous one. You can create a keyword and you use the default network right now. And I can launch this instance. I just want to show you how to launch an instance, right? I'm launching this instance now. Now, say I'm working for a company like Walmart, right? And Walmart wants to deploy an applications to 1 million customers. One server instance that I just created right now is not going to hold the application that is going to serve 1 million people. So I need like 1,000 servers to be able to distribute that application through those 1,000 servers. All right. I'm just doing a big overview now. I'm not configuring the network or anything, but it takes me close to about 3 to 5 minutes to create one instance or one resource. Right. So how long is it going to take me to create 1,000 instances or sometimes 2,000 instances to be able to deploy applications in them for Walmart employees? It will take me forever, right? That takes us to what we call infrastructure as a code, right? So you can write your codes and your codes can actually come to AWS and create 10,000s of infrastructures for you, right? And that code probably, let me show you what the code looks like. I have a VS Code, my VS Code open here. Yeah, I have a VS Code open here. So this is what the VS Code looks like. This is a code that I've written. This code creates a VPC, what they call virtual private cloud, right? That would host the instances, right? So I can use this and create these resources, right? So if I go back to let me go back to, I have a central repository, which I call GitHub, that hosts all this information, right? So I can use, this is my GitHub repository that holds, this is my code. This is the code I use. So I can version control this code. I use this code over and over and over. So in this code is already written. So I can clone this code into my editor. This is my editor. I've already cloned this, right? And from this, I'm giving you a high level view of it. I can run some commands, and these commands will create those infrastructures for me. So let's get back to real quick into my, so for example, this is my AWS user interface. In this, I'm going to create a VPC, a new one. I already have two here. These two are default ones, right? I'm going to create a VPC here. I'm going to create a subnet. I'm going to create a route table, internet gateway. And I'm going to create a NAT gateway, right? For this to get my instance in there to communicate from the outside, right? So if I have this, I don't have to do it manually. I don't have to come in here and create it manually. I can use my infrastructure as a code. Come in here. So I already have the code in here. I've cloned the code from my GitHub repository in here. So I can run a simple command like Terraform init. This would initialize my backend, right? And create what is called a plugin. That plugin would start communicating with my AWS infrastructure, right? Now I can do Terraform validate. Now I want to validate the code that I written and make sure that the code is okay. If the code is not okay, it's going to fail and tell me that it's not successful. Then I have to go back and look at those codes and make sure they are okay. From there, I can do Terraform plan. Now, sorry, I missed this sentence there. It's Terraform plan, not planner. Right. So Terraform plan now would go in and to AWS and give me a plan of what I want to provision, the resources I want to provision. In other words, provision I want to create in AWS. You will tell me all the infrastructures that will be created, right? In total, I think about 25 infrastructures will be created by me just typing a line of code, right? So it would tell me this, and I will look at the infrastructures and say that infrastructures are okay. Now, once I'm done with that, let me clear this so you can see. Then I can do Terraform apply. And I can auto, because it's going to ask me if I want to create it. I can auto approve this. I can auto approve this to go ahead and create those infrastructures. So now it's doing the communication now. It's not asking me, stopping to ask me if I want to create it, because I do auto approve it automatically. So now it's creating those infrastructure. Right. It's creating those infrastructure right now in AWS, right? So the infrastructures are created right now. And I'll show you once it's created, I'll show you the VPC and everything that is created. So this is a way of you automating your infrastructure provisioning without doing it manually. And that's one of the jobs of a DevOps engineer. How do you create automation into application development? How do you do that? So this is how you do it. You use what they call Terraform. Terraform is an application developed by a company called HashiCorp, right? HashiCorp provides this Terraform application that you can use to provision this infrastructure. It takes a minute for this to create, but in a minute or two, it will create, right? So this is how you create create automation when it comes to creating infrastructure. The next demo that I'm going to show you after this one, hopefully I'm buying time for this to be created, is your pipeline, right? Now you have a pipeline. How do you create this application? This application goes through different kind of tools. When codes are written, codes do not become application. Codes are codes written. You cannot say, I've written a computer program and that program is an application. No, it's not. It has to go through the build process, it has to go through testing process, it has to go through different kind of processes before it can become a code. So that's the next demo that I'm going to do. While we're waiting for this to completely build, now let's see if we are having any build that's going on right now. So let me refresh this real quick. If I refresh this, we should see some.
Network.
Let me mute this. Right. Yeah, Bright, can you mute yourself?
Oh.
Right. So, right. See, this has created this VPC right now. US West 2B, US West 2B. I should have showed you the code and let you see the new ones that are created. It's created this. It has also created this, my VPC. He has created these subnets. These are my subnets. He has created a VPC. Obviously, there's a new VPC here, the development dev from my dev environment. He has created a VPC and has created all the subnets, right? And has created a route table, right? And has created internet gateway. I know you might not understand what all these are, but I'm just showing you the infrastructure that you can create without manually going in to create this, right? So this is the demo. This has been created. And if I go back to my editor right now, it says that 25 resources has been created. This is me using code to create these 25 infrastructures, not going in manually to create them. And I can destroy all these infrastructures that I just created. I can do Terraform, destroy, -- auto. Okay, let's do it manually right now. Let's do it manually so you can see how it can do manually. So it's going to stop and ask me if I want to continue. Enter a value, yes or not? Yeah. I say yes, I want to destroy all these infrastructures. And all those infrastructures are destroyed, right? If I had put auto approve, it would not stop to ask me answer yes or no. In this way, it validates that yes, you really want to destroy this infrastructure. So that's the first demo that I wanted to show you. The next demo that I wanted to show you, it's about how you actually create your application, right? In this case, let me bring up this pipeline, right? This is called Jenkins. Jenkins is what is called a CI/CD pipeline. It creates a CI/CD pipeline, but what it does is this. Let me go back here so I can show you the picture of it. So this is the one that we just created, HashiCorp Terraform on AWS. And this is what we just created. We created VPC in AWS, and this VPC has subnet, right? And this subnet, we've created internet gateway, we've created security groups, right? Inside, so we created all these infrastructures. This is the pictorial form of it, okay? And now the CI/CD pipeline that we want to create, this is what is going to happen. We have a Jenkins right here, and we're integrating our GitHub into this Jenkins pipeline. So what happens is, this is a developer develops a code and push this code through a Git to a GitHub. GitHub is the repository that you have in the cloud. And once this is pushed to the cloud, you have a Jenkins here. Jenkins will pull this code from the repository in the cloud and pull it into the pipeline. And you have another tool here called Maven. So what Maven does is Maven will build the code. So Jenkins will push this code to Maven. Maven will build the code. Once Maven build the code, this code is pushed back to a repository. This time is the Nexus repository. It could be a JFrog repository. It depends on what you want. You can also push this code to a GitHub repository, a Docker Hub repository as well, right? That in that case, you're trying to create a containerization, right? Whereby you can also use Kubernetes to deploy it. But we're keeping it simple right here. Now, before these codes are being pushed, you use SonarQube to do a create a test report to see if there's any problem within the code that it can identify for you. If there's any problem, this code will be pushed back to the developer, and the developer will fix it. And once this is done, now this code can be push to Tomcat, and Tomcat is a web server. Tomcat would publish your application, right? So that's the demo that I want to show you right now. So let's get into demo real quick. So this is the pipeline. The pipeline has already been created, right? I have a code. Let me show you the configuration of the code right now. I wrote a code for this to be done in a pipeline, and this is what the code looks like, right? This is what code looks like. I have a Maven build here. I have a code quality, which is SonarQube. I have a Nexus that it has to upload to. I have Tomcat that it has to deploy. I have first is going to ask for approval after testing. It stops here so I can do some kind of testing. Then I go ahead and approve it and we'll deploy the application, right? So once that is done with this code, I can build my application. So my application is being built right now. And you see it's going through stages. Now from Git clone, right? It clones it from my GitHub. Now it gets to Maven, and Maven builds the application. Once it builds, it goes through code quality to check the quality of the codes and make sure it's okay. It gives me what is called a code coverage report. Once that is done, it's uploaded to Nexus. Now it's uploaded now to Nexus. Once it's uploaded to Nexus, it's okay. Now Jenkins will pull this again and send it for deployment and copy that file for deployment, right, using Tomcat, right? Now, this is this first stage of deployment, right? I am in QA, so I'll go check and make sure that all the features in these applications are running the way the customer wants it to run, right? Once it does that, it stops, it gives me 24 hours to see that, make sure that everything is okay. I check and see that everything is okay. If it's not okay, I would have bought this to go so that the public would not access it. I'll tell the developers to go back and fix whatever error. But assuming that everything goes well, I would say proceed. I will now proceed, right? It's going to go ahead and deploy this application. And if anything happens, it's going to send an email and send me an email. Now I can open my Tomcat server. This is my Tomcat right now. That's my web server. And this web server, I can access this application. This is my application, is published to the whole wide world. Anywhere you are right now in the world, if you put in this IP address, right, you will be able to access this application, right? So that's how applications are built, and that's how it's published, right? So that's the second demo that I wanted to show you. Let's get back to our PowerPoint real quick. Okay, so and the question comes now is, what are the classes that I need to take? What are the classes that you take in the
IT works. If you're a class engineer,
for a master class, what are the classes that I need to take? I'd like to take you at this point to the website, the official website for Rondus, which is rondustech.com, to show you what the classes look like. So I've already explained to you, this is our official website that you can go and get more information. This website is still there's a blog page that will be added to it to give more information. But what I wanted to show you today are the different programs that we have. Now, if you want to study DevOps, you want to be part of this, right? I've segregated the DevOps process into, if you want to become a DevOps engineer, right? If you can go in here, it will give you a little bit of details of the classes that you need to take to become a DevOps engineer, right? If you want to be a site reliability engineer, right, you can get into site reliability engineer, and these are the classes that you want to take to become a site reliability engineer. If you want to pursue a career as a release manager, you can only take these classes, right? It's not a lot of classes. If you want to become, and so on and so forth. So this is a place, cloud engineer, these are the only classes that you will take, right? So it's not that you have to pay a whole lot of money, all this money to be able to do DevOps, then you specialize. Now I've segregated them into specialization, right? You can always take a look at it on our website. Apart from that, there are some general classes that I would really like us to take. One is Python. Python class it teaches you scripting, because when you get into automation, it helps you do scripting, right? The first class that we start with in this class is Linux class, apart from the introduction to DevOps. We do Linux class that would also teach you scripting. But most industries like people that know Python, right? They really appreciate if you know Python, because you can also use Python to do scripting as well. So we put that as an optional class, which I encourage everyone to take as well. And another thing that we want to delve into are some non-technical, technical DevOps classes. One of them is cybersecurity, right? We're going to offer classes in cybersecurity as well. Another thing is web page development. This one will just be a WordPress. For example, you want to create a web page like this web page right now, right? Instead of learning HTML and CSS, you can use WordPress to be able to create a simple website like this. And people make a lot of money as well creating a website like this. So we're going to offer that class. Another class we'd like to offer is product management. Yeah, product management is another class that, okay, it's not technical. So how do I get requirement to create an application? If a customer needs an application, who creates that requirement? Who goes between the customer and the engineering team to make sure that the applications that are being created have the features and all the requirements that are required? Is the product manager that does that, right? So you become a product manager. It's non-technical, not technical, but you have to have a knowledge of what you are doing and what is being developed, so you can convey that information back and forth to the customer. So we'll offer that class as well. The one important class that would encourage everyone, if you're doing DevOps or any other thing that wants is business development and entrepreneurship. So one thing is to learn all the skills. One track is to get a job, right? You can get a job anyway. If you go on, those of you that is in Africa, Nigeria, if you go online and go to Indeed and type DevOps jobs, you see a number of jobs, right? Mostly in Abuja and Lagos, right? Those are the places I've seen jobs. And in United States, UK, where if you're located there, there's a lot of jobs in that field as well. But what if you really want to do something with this DevOps program? You want to start a business, you want to become an entrepreneur, right? You want to bring people together to actually create an application and make impact in your community. That's when empowerment comes in, right? So the information I'm giving you today is not that you should find a job. Yes, that's part of it. You should find a job, right? Get a decent wage. But what if you can actually get this knowledge and start your own business and impact the community, hire people, employ people, right? That would be awesome. So what I'm trying to say is we also offer a class that teaches you business entrepreneurship. Because how do you start a business? How do you register a business? What are the places that you can go to get a loan to start a business? What are some of the things that I can do a business? What are the regulations that are in there, right? So I intend to bring experts into this class to teach us so many things, apart from the basic things that we learn as a business guru, right? We'll bring people in real life that are doing this to come teach us how to become an entrepreneur, how to start a business and all that. So I would encourage everyone to take this, even if your main objective is to get a job after the end of this class. I will encourage everyone to also enroll in this program. So that's the program that we offer. And the question is, how do we get registered, right? So if you go to registration page, I segregate all the classes into low pieces so that it's affordable. You don't have to pay $3,000 for the entire class of DevOps. Now you can go to the program here and see what are the classes that I need to take, right? For automation engineer, you see that you only need to take maybe 5 or 6 classes, right? Then you can come here and register those 5 classes as they become available. Now you don't have to pay for all the classes that you need at once. Just when the class is available, you just pay. If it's $300, you pay $300. If you cannot afford the next class, that's fine. You just wait until you're able to afford the next class, then you pay it. That way we segregate. It's more or less what they call a consumable model, right? You pay as you consume, right? You don't have to come up with this $3,000 a whole to pay for the whole program. So I segregated into different classes, and you can just take a class and I have a whole lot of classes here. And one thing that I also do, I have discount. I have created some bundles here. So if you want to get 2 classes, you have a discount from the deal. And one other thing that I've done is if you go in and register for any class right now, by the end of April 30th, you have a 10% discount on anything here that, including the ones that are on sale. If you register, you have a 10% discount by the end of it all. So that's what I wanted to share with you in terms of where are we? Let me make sure I'm in the right place, right? So we've gone through all this. Right. So I want to share with you when it comes to the master class and the curriculum, right? And I've already talked about the specializations, right? We've gone through all that as well. I've also showed you the registration by, you have 10% off any class by April 30th if you register for any of these classes. So I'll hand over to Abiola now to get into other aspects. Abiola.
Thank you very much, Dr. IT. This is a really eye-opening session that you just gave us. In a few seconds, can we just, give him a round of applause with our emojis? You can also give me a thumbs up as well if you think that this is a great session that you just had with him. That was really amazing. Thank you so much for all the effort that you put into this. It's really amazing. It's really captivating as well. And I can see for sure that this is a path that all of us can go through and not regret. So thank you very much for all the input, for all the wealth of experience that you've given to us in this short session. And at this juncture, we'll be going into testimonials and award certificates. So now this session is for those that were part of this class, that just recently graduated. So they'll be handed over the certificates, and they've also put in a lot of effort into this to make sure this becomes a success. They've invested a lot of time. They've invested, even money as well. They've had to discard so many activities just to make sure that, this is fully to make sure that this is fully achieved. And without much further ado, I'll be, inviting three of us who will be giving a short testimony of how this program has been a success to them. And at first, I'll be welcoming Mr. Olu Smith. Olu Smith will be giving us a high-level summary of what he has learned from this class, how he has benefited from this class, what are the perks that you think this class is going to prepare him for, what are the opportunities that he thinks and knows that this class will prepare him for. So in a short minutes, in a few minutes, if you can share with us what the experience had been, being in Rondustech 2024, just share with us and also inspire a lot of others that is online at this time. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Olubenga Smith.
Well, can you share your camera too?
Anyways, while we're waiting for Mr. Olu Smith, I think at this point we can actually share we can present the awards and then we can have them share the testimony. So Dr. IT, are the awards ready to present to them?
Yes, the awards are ready. Can you see my screen?
All right. Yeah, I can see your screen now. So can we just give a round of applause to Elvis Abia? He has completed his course. He has shown that he's invested a lot of time. Like I said earlier on, He has invested a lot of time, energy, resources to make sure this comes to fruition. So if we can all jump our hands, give him a round of applause for how much he has invested in this. Congratulations, Mr. Elvis. This is just the beginning of all the great milestones that you will achieve. I really congratulate you. Thank you so much for putting in all the efforts. So we can all give him a round of applause. We also have Iberedum Ukwe. Thank you as well for all the hard work that you've put into this. Thank you for all the effort, for all the resources that you've also put into this to make sure that you become successful. Thank you very much for all the time spent, all the sessions that you've had at class, all the homeworks, all this, all the project that you've worked on to ensure that, the day become a success. Thank you so much for investing in yourself. I really appreciate all the energy and all the resources that you spent. Thank you very much. I also have a Nogasi Equere. Thank you very much. In fact, you've already invested a little time as well in this program. Congratulations. Thank you very much. I know that this will launch you into another phase of greatness very soon in your in this career. Congratulations also to Rondustech. Thank you, Olu Smith. Thank you for all the hard work that you've put into this as well. Congratulations. We can't wait to hear that great story of how much, you'll be launched into your new phase of greatness, into your new career. I can't wait to hear that testimony. Thank you very much. Congratulations. I also have here Uchechukwu or Ariwodo. Congratulations on this great achievement. You've put in a lot of work as well. I can tell personally how much of an effort you've already put into this. And I know that you can also, we can't wait to, be launched into that new career that you are waiting for, that you're really looking forward to. Congratulations. Welcome, and well done on this great feat that you've achieved. I pray that the Lord Almighty opens new doors for you with these certificates, and I'm very assured that, you will make an impact out there with this that you've already achieved. Congratulations. Thank you very much. All right, at this time, we're going into our testimonials, and I'll be welcoming Olugbenga Smith to, in a few minutes, just share with us what you've experienced at Rondustech, how much of a change, how much of a transformation you've actually had, being a part of this community, and what are your aspirations, or how do you think that this this certificate will launch new doors for you? Over to you, Mr. Olugbenga Smith. And for the benefit of those that are online, if you don't mind sharing your screen, we really appreciate that as well. Thank you.
Good afternoon, good evening. From here, I'm greeting you anywhere you are listening to me. I hope everybody can hear what I'm about to share. So here I have, thank you. So here I have 4 points to talk about, and I'm going to go over them briefly. What motivated me to enroll in this DevOps Masterclass is going to be my first points that I'm going to highlight. As someone with little or no knowledge on how IT works, and knowing fully that the world is going towards the IT world, it's always been my passion, my aim to look for where I will fit in. But there is nothing I can do. But when the opportunity comes in to become a DevOps engineer, and I understand that DevOps it requires little or no knowledge of IT to learn. So I quickly key into it. I met IT, I discussed with Dr. IT, and then I started my class. But today, I can tell you that I have never missed this. I can never say anything less than it's really worth it. I am on the right path to achieving my aims to become an IT guru. I am on the right path to become what I have always been planning for, and I'm at the right path to join the future world of IT. I'm also going to go into the second point, which describes my experience. Yes, I have no IT knowledge, nothing. Even when it comes to technology, I'm really sucks. But I can tell you that with my experience with this DevOps masterclass has been so amazing. Being a person with business background, I can tell you that it has been very, very transformative for me. The course materials, the contents, they are all directed toward achieving my goals. Excellent tutor, all the tutors, all the teachers that have been with us in this program, they are so excellent. Nothing I can say to you, our teachers, other than to thank you and say, well done. You guys should keep it up and God will surely reward you. This will lead me to the next point, which is the skills that I've acquired during this masterclass. As Dr. Haiti said, there are a lot of skills, but there are many things that we cannot do at a time. So the field that I can only be proud of, I can tell you that presently I have acquired the skills in communication and collaboration, problem solving and critical thinking, as well as continuous learning and curiosity. Other things which I'm still developing myself upon is like learning more about infrastructure and cloud, basic knowledge of testing and monitoring. So this will help me to definitely achieve my aims. And lastly, my advice that I would like to tell you is that I would like to encourage those of us here that are still thinking if to take this course, to just take the bull by the horn. There is no perfect time to start a new experience. Break the ice today. Kickstart that journey today. And I promise you that you will never regret it. In fact, you will come back and thank me. All these are what I would like to share with you as my testimony. Thank you, Dr. IT. Thank you, Rondos. Thank you, all our teachers. Thank you, participants, for today. And I say God bless you all. Thank you.
Amen. Let's give him a round of applause. Let's hit our virtual emoji and just, give him a round of applause for that testimony that he has just shared with us. Being a beneficiary of this class, I can also attest to everything that he has said. It's a community that has a lot of, a wealth of knowledge. Looking at Dr. IT, looking at his wealth of experience that he's had, he's also transferring that knowledge to each and everyone that is, a part of this community. And like I said, I can fully attest to everything that he has said, because it's a community that has, a lot of skills, a lot of tools to use as well. And I can tell you for sure that it's a class that that you can launch a potential, that you can launch you to your next career phase. That will also make you a lot of money as well. And I can't wait, for us to share that story. So thank you very much, Mr. Olugbenga-Smith. I can't wait to share your next testimony of how you are making an impact in the world out there, and at this juncture, I'll be welcoming Louis Fong as well to share with us what his experience has been in this class. Like Olugbenga-Smith said, you'll be giving us, you'll be telling us 3 things about what you've learned, and they will be what motivated you to enroll into the Rondustech DevOps Masterclass. You'll also share with us how you will describe your experience with the course content and materials. And thirdly, you will give us the specific skills or knowledge that you acquired during this class. Is there anything else that you would also like to share with experience that you've had at this class? So over to you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abiola. Good evening to everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are connecting. And thank you for this opportunity. Just to make it, is everyone getting me clear?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much. Like you said, I'm just going to be very brief, talking about my experience with this class. The first thing that motivated me I am a Scrum Master by profession. Now, with the growing strength of IT and the desire to be technical and understand how things are going, because on a daily basis, you literally work with a group of engineers and they constantly talk about all these processes that the doctor was giving us here in the course of this demo. So in the course of that, I now really wanted to, understand how things are really going so that I can be able to better support my teams when it comes to managing these teams. And I am looking at the future and then thinking that in the nearest future, if you are not technical, especially working in the software development environment, just having an understanding of what is going on is very, very important because it's going to help you. Because of that, I decided to take a challenge to say, okay, for career advancement, let me go ahead and take this course. And luckily enough for me, I discovered it was actually a place where I needed to be and what I've been looking for. When it comes to my experience, as far as this course is concerned, I want to give a big shout out to Dr. I've been to some different classes. I've attended some different classes when it comes to training, and a lot of boot camps as well. What is very, very important is when it comes at the level of materials, I want to say Rondustech has a lot of wonderful materials that are being provided to you, resources that are available for you to learn and better understand what you need to know as far as this particular course is concerned. Now, it is very, very interactive, and he makes sure that he brings everything down at the level of your understanding, doing things practically like what you saw here. So exactly what he demoed here in the course of this session today is exactly what you do on your job site. So it's pretty much easy, and I mean, bringing things at the level of layman's understanding. So that's something that really made me interested as far as this class is concerned. Now, when it comes to the skills that I have been able to, when it comes to the skills that I've been able to acquire in this class, I mean, there are a lot of things that I've acquired in this class, but going to the technical part of it, like Doctor already showed us here, I've acquired skills starting as a Linux system administrator, right up to the level of AWS, and then as a DevOps engineer. So with the training I have gotten here, I've been through some couple of interviews and still taking some. So I've been taking interviews like AWS solution architect, DevOps engineer, site reliability engineer, and many others that are coming my way. So I'm giving a shout to all those. That is to say, the skills that I've acquired here in this particular session have been a very great one. So the CI/CD pipeline that Dr. Demonstrated here using tools like Git, GitHub, Jenkins, SonarQube, Selenium, and for container orchestration, Kubernetes. Those are some of the things that we have really acquired in the course of this class. Now, additional things that I've really acquire in this class that I find it very, very, very important and very difficult to find elsewhere as far as, having a bootcamp like this is concerned, is the fact that doctor is constantly with you in the course of interviews, because by the end of the day, somebody like me, I want to get something. I want to give a testimony of what I am already doing. So he's always there with you. If you reach out, hey, I have an interview, he goes to that level of making sure that he connects with you one-on-one. You guys go through some interview questions and he gives you that coaching. I feel like that coaching part of it is very, very, very important as far as my journey for this particular DevOps field is concerned. So he makes that very, very easy for you. He connects with you, go through some past questions, tell you some technical things that happens in the real life situations, and you guys do hands-on if possible. Now, we also have a group which is here that is made up of students that are in this course, where we connect regularly and, share skills and share our experience for whosoever, is better. Whatever you share with your other fellow friends so that we can become better, because in the IT world, especially when it comes to DevOps, you cannot work in isolation. You need to work with one another. So in this class, that is technically what we are doing, and it is something that really encourages me as well. Now, to conclude, if you ask me my overall experience, I will say that it really supersedes my expectations of what I was expecting as far as this class is concerned. And I will have my 100% recommendation for anyone that is trying to take this particular course. It doesn't really matter whether you have been in the IT field before or you have ever done anything IT related. I believe that the way Rondustech is taking stuff and taking things at the ground level, you can always pick up, and particularly on the fact the way the curriculum is being divided, you can pick up things there at that level, and then you will still be able to make it up. So thank you, Rondustech, for the knowledge acquired. I feel like I have done something, and I'm trusting God that the next time I'm coming here, the next session will be to give a testimony and encourage any other person. So if you have been thinking of taking a challenge, don't procrastinate, just take it up, and from there, God will handle the rest. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Abiola.
Very much. Thank you very much, Luis, for that. Great words that you've already spoken about this class. A round of applause for Luis. Thank you very much. I can also wait to hear that testimony again, when you've already gotten that dream job that you're interviewing for. And as a matter of fact, I can also attest to a lot of things that you said concerning Dr. IT. He's a person that when you run into a roadblock, you can actually reach out to him anytime, be it 11 p.m., be it 12 a.m. If he's awake and he sees your call, he will take it. He's that kind of person. And that is the kind of support that you need in, especially in this field where you're still trying to navigate through things, and that I can say a very big thank you to, because you hardly find such you hardly find such support out there. And this is a perk that you can actually enjoy being a part of this community. And for everything that you've said, I say thank you very much. Like I said, I can't wait to hear another verse of testimony again that you have, regarding the job that you actually interviewed for. And I pray that the Lord Almighty will open that door for you in the mighty and powerful name of Jesus. All right, the last but not the least, we'll be going to Mr. Idongesit. Did I get it right? Let me know if it's right. Mr. Idongesit, if you don't mind, you can please let us see your face and just share with us what your testimonies are since you began this class. Thank you.
I don't see the answer on the call.
Oh, he's not on the call? Okay. I thought I saw him just a few minutes ago. All right. I guess if he's not here, then we can move on to the next agenda. So once again, thank you everyone for your time. Thank you everyone for being a part of this session today. At this point, I'll be welcoming Dr. IT again to give us a closing remark. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Abiola. Thank you for all those that testify. I am so humbled. I really appreciate it. The closing remarks, I know you all have a lot of questions and answers, but I scheduled this for 1 hour, 30 minutes, just to respect your time, understanding that some people are calling in from Africa and it's late for them. So if you have any question that is pressing, you can just send me a text message, or you can call me actually. I would take your calls or send me a message. I would respond to any of your questions. But I just want to use this opportunity to thank you all for coming. I just want to recognize my friend and my brother, Pastor Joseph Ogabi, and I also see Asa Paidem. I see my good friends from my colleagues like Mfon, her name, you see Malix, and a host of others that have joined. If I don't mention your name, please. I see Francis here. I see Amaswa. I see Nick. Those are all my good friends. I see Bashiru Amidu. So thank you so much for all of you that has come to listen to this information session. I will throw you a challenge. This is an empowerment of our community. At least that's my goal. We have a lot of other people that have gone into the IT world and they have dominated this area. Our community is not represented, and there's a big share that we can also acquire in this environment, in this field. So I want you to take a leap of faith. If you want to learn something, IT is here, it's not going anywhere. AI is coming, and if you don't get into the trend, it's going to pass you by. There's a really need for you to have the knowledge of technology, because the future is going to be all about technology. If you believe it or not, I'm telling you, it's good to have an idea, and this is the starting point. At least you have the basic knowledge. Some of you are already established in your field. I understand that if you're really established and you don't want to make any changes, please don't make any change. But if you feel a pressing need to learn, to explore other things and know how things work. Sometimes you just explore, you want to see how things work. I don't know how apps comes into my cell phone. How does it really work? Who created it? How was this created? If you have an inquisitive mind, and you just want to learn, just give it a try and see if you like it or you don't like it. If it's too technical for you, that's fine. And we'll also have some non-technical things like cybersecurity that we're bringing in, how to create a business and all that. That a host of others that I would also invite to join in teaching classes, like leadership classes on this platform. So stay tuned for that. We also offer a Scrum Master and Jira as well. Our developer is still trying to put that on the website. So look out for some other classes that are coming on this platform. It's a place, I want to create a community where we can share knowledge, right? I understand fee is being charged. Fee is charged for the time, right? You don't expect someone to leave his family and spend all this time teaching without getting something back. Fee is charged for that time, but the knowledge, the skills is a place, a hub that we can share knowledge with each other so that we can know how things work, so that the world doesn't revolve without us being part of it. Again, I just want to thank you without going over 1:30. I want to thank you again for making your time. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to attend this program. So thank you so much, and God bless you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. IT. Once again, thank you everyone for coming. We can't wait for you to enroll and launch yourself into that new trajectory of the new career that you want to be launched into. Thank you very much. And I hope that this class has convinced, this session has convinced you. It's just a tip of the iceberg of what you will learn. This is a series of sessions compressed into 1 hour, 30 minutes. But trust me, there is a lot to actually unravel as you begin your journey at Rondustech. So thank you everyone again for joining. We can't wait to have you, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you. Thank you very much, and enjoy your weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.